big deal. There's the story of the cancer, you know? I don't know if I'm going to do this. We'll see. Okay. We just have this whole amazing way of working with the most human part of ourselves. Friday, March 17th, 2017. You have ovarian cancer. Your statistics are blah, 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 blah. Okay, what am I gonna do? When I turned 55 years old, I didn't feel well. In fact, I even said to one of my students, I think I'm gonna die. I just knew that something wasn't right. I didn't look well. My children never said it, but they all were thinking it. I couldn't eat much. I was getting thinner, and eventually I started to get these furrowing stomach aches. I needed help. I was diagnosed on a Friday. You have ovarian cancer. And on Tuesday, the spring equinox, I had surgery. Boogie, woogie, woogie. Can't laugh. But I'll do the shuffle. Keep those feet in the beat. 6-8, here we go. Shaking it down. I came home from surgery and this beautiful body had this wonderful stitching, raw. And I turned to my husband, I said, I get it, it's okay if you don't want to go on this journey with me. Sweet man wasn't going anywhere. And I felt so much relief. I spoke to my daughters about, we are done with the ancestral line of abuse coming through these feminine bodies. Take it all. My mother, my daughters, my sisters, the aunties, the elders, the yet to be born. We clear this for you. Emptied. Of course, the chemo still needed to come in to mop things up. This incredible instrument, this body of mine, is going to get filled with this chemical that at that point I did not think necessarily was my friend. Everything indicated that that was the right path for this body on this healing journey. So I surrendered. Chemotherapy changes you. I had a port right here and one here. Those first few days post-chemo were rough. Neuropathy up to my knees. I broke a toe. Burned my joints. I will not let myself be dried up. I really needed my mom. All the prayers to the Great Mother weren't gonna cut it. I needed to figure out how to nourish my body. And so began a journey of not knowing what my body truly needed. I listened. I would go into deep states of stillness and listen. What do you need to do? I would receive these infusions, and then I would literally go lie flat on the earth, honoring and following this brilliant body of mine. All of that activation, all of that intensity of these chemicals jacking my nervous system, but also clearing the residual cancer, I would allow my whole system to just quiet, discharge, orient, ground. And I would just go right to that place, almost like death itself, but it was so full of life. And I would track the subtle sensations in my body and be with them. I was leaning in, following all those truths, no matter how uncomfortable, and mostly they were brutally uncomfortable. I really chose to explore very deeply that connection between the mind and the body, and to see how clear intention and focused prayer and visualization could help complement all the amazing work that was happening through the chemo, through the acupuncture, through the herbs, through all these physical medicines. At one point, they wanted to give me a blood infusion because my platelets were so low. Someone on the phone was saying, "This is really dangerous. You could die here if you hit your head." I was like, "Just give me a minute." And I went home and I studied what are platelets, and then I started to draw pictures of happy, healthy platelets. And then I danced, happy platelets, healthy platelets. That was on a Saturday and a Sunday. On Monday, I was cool. My platelets had risen. We could go forward. Bam! Bye! Out! No! Tonight! Yes! I don't see it like I did something wrong to create this disease. I see it like this was a twisted gift. That's it, folks. I got to look death straight in the eye, and I will say, I understand how when people get consumed with this disease, how death is really a natural, energetic pathway to follow. It was actually seductive. The veils were thin. Whatever the descent is, to be willing to go there, to die into it, to be fully transformed through it, and to be curious about who emerges on the other side. So when I came out of all that chemotherapy with no evidence of disease, I also came out a bit of a different person. I felt like a nun for a while. My sexuality was a mystery, and my sense of connection with spirit and my call to service had gone to a whole new place. And I've just been living with the tension of all that. Am I yin? Am I yang? Am I sun? Am I moon? Am I none of the above? Who am I now? And I've really allowed myself to begin to not know and to not try and define any of it, and to feel that place in me that is beyond all of those definitions, and to move into the space that's willing to cut through everything that keeps us from being present, kind, fierce, focused, and alive. I'm still in my mid-50s, but with the gray hair and the wrinkly face, something else happens. Getting really curious about what longs to move through us now. In the face of so much destruction on this planet, the extraordinary toxins that are in our foods, that's in the mindset, that's in the media. There is this life force that moves through us, that's always with us, and hopefully even perhaps to the day, that last release. And it is that of release. Pay homage to the power of a woman's capacity to continue to be orgasmic, to be able to circulate her life force energy through her body, with or without a uterus. Beyond diagnosis and statistics, there is a life force longing to be triumphant. We focus our gaze on that current, allowing grace and the tenacity of our beings to keep orienting us towards life. We tend a fire within that is far more powerful than the heat, the burn of chemotherapy, warmed by the love of our family and our friends. Your prayers do matter. We ignite one another's resilience. We do not let our minds wander We are far too aware that there are women around the world who have no access to health care of any kind. We cherish each day while we continue to get our affairs in order. We do not waste our time. We simply keep dancing.